Hey, good afternoon. Greg here. How's it going? I am on a lunch break and just took a little drive down to the Milwaukee lakefront. It's raining out. Don't know if you can see the window here, but it's still a nice day because it's not as warm as it's been. Mostly came down here just to start checking out how to do some recording in the vehicle, vlog style. And I've picked up a few pieces of equipment, and learning what they do and how they do it is, part of the process. Today I've just got my iPhone on the dashboard, and I have a Rode Micro wireless microphone right there. Um, yeah, I think I travel a lot, and I would like to have a way to get thoughts down for myself and potentially for you fine people if I come up with them while I'm driving or even maybe stopped on the side of the road. Traditionally, for many, many years, I have used a notepad, but that really only works well by stopping and taking the time to do it. And sometimes by the time I get to a place where I feel safe, like I'm not in the way and I'm not distracted from driving the vehicle, I kind of forgot what I was going to say already or what I was going to write down. And I like to have my thoughts available to me. My memory is going. I'm an old man. So I think this format would probably be pretty good. I've been monkeying around with the iPhone and this wireless micro from Rode. I also have a Insta Ace 360 Pro 2, and I this is what I'd like to get into. The micro doesn't connect to that directly yet, and I have a nice wireless Go 2 right here. I've had this for quite a while, but it's out of batteries, and apparently there's a way to direct connect that now to the Ace Pro 2. So I'm gonna monkey around with that some too. But meanwhile, I just wanted to take a little time and test this out. Maybe finish my sandwich here from Scardina's over on Locust Street here in Milwaukee. It's a ham wrap. They're really good, but they're also an Italian deli. So if you're into meatball sandwiches or Italian sausage or any of that type of stuff, they're very good at all that too. I just happen to like their ham wrap a lot. Mm. Hmm. Good stuff. All right. Well, I probably ought to get back to the shop here, but we did what I wanted, or I did what I wanted to do, and that is to just do a quick test and see how this particular setup works. To end it, besides chewing my food, I want to start the van up and just see what that sounds like. I might even probably hit the road just a little bit and get a feel for what it sounds like when I'm driving. So I'll start the vehicle, and then we'll see what it sounds like as it's running. Plus, I have kind of a janky fan. It needs to be replaced for the circulation system and the AC and whatnot. Haven't gotten around to it yet. All right. Well, I don't know what happened. I think I learned something there, and that is that when the phone connects to the Bluetooth system for the CarPlay and whatnot in the vehicle, it stopped the recording. So there's something I learned today, and something you learned too if you didn't already know that. Although I assume if you have been doing this type of thing, you may have run into that problem before. But anyway, as I was saying before, I got so rudely interrupted by CarPlay. The vehicle's running, and also the fan on the AC. Hear that nice growl? Or I don't know if you do or not. I've got the noise reduction on this microphone set to high, so potentially it may take some of that away. So yeah, time to head back to the shop. I'm gonna take off here and see how this thing fits with that there. Let's move this puppy a little bit. There. Now we don't have the seatbelt directly smashing into it. probably going to flop over anyway. But, more things to learn and more things to figure out and try and get a process that works well. So it's a pretty popular parking lot down here just to come and hang out for a lunch, do a little thinking, do a little relaxing. I'm going back to the studio today. And I get to play around with doing my taxes too, because August 1st is the kind of D-Day for getting my stuff to the accountant from last year. So I'm rolling through the parking lot, and we're gonna just pop out onto the access road here, and I'm gonna just hit about 25 because this is it's a park, can't go too fast in here, and see what it sounds like. It's a little bit of a bumpy road, not like Milwaukee roads aren't all bumpy, but this one isn't too bad. There are a bazillion geese. I wish I had a way to capture all of them. It's very goose heavy down here at the Milwaukee lakefront, going by the marina and whatnot. I'm just going to keep doing this until we get out onto Lincoln Memorial, which is a little bit more speed on that road. Not a ton, but we're down at the Milwaukee lakefront, and on a rainy day like this, it's not too crowded down here. On a 90-degree day, yeah, you can hardly find parking because it's a beautiful place to be, usually cooler by the lake. La, la, la. Yeah. Don't really know what else I have to say today. This is kind of my idea, is that I could just start this at any time when I'm thinking of something. Maybe I'll get out on the road here, see how it sounds at 30 miles an hour or whatever, 35, and then I will shut her down, and then if I come up with something while I'm on my way back to the studio, I will fire it up again and see if my idea works, which is for me to be able to get ideas down when I think of them and not have to stop and write them down. Just waiting for traffic here. Alrighty. Away we go. So I'm going to be working on several different modes of transportation to try and capture what I'm going to call spend on the road. I think it's part of my cycling persona, but I like the idea of it, and I'm not strictly a cyclist, obviously. I'm driving in a vehicle right now. But I do like to travel a lot, and sometimes it's far-flung and the van's the way to go. Sometimes it's trips on the cycle, sometimes it's motorcycle trips, sometimes it's even on the train. So figuring out how to kind of capture all this stuff and make it usable and interesting and whatnot is my goal here, as well as the aforementioned note-taking and memory prodding type of an idea that I've got going on. So yeah, we're getting rolling now. A little bit of rain shushies on the street. But anyway, so I'm just going to shut my mouth for a little bit and see what the background noise is like. And then I'll shut this down, and I may see you later and I may not. This is Greg. See you later. Hey, it's Sven again. I am at a stoplight on the way to the studio, and I discovered that when I turned off the video, then the podcast I was listening to came back on the CarPlay, which is kind of cool, and it doesn't really bother me that it interrupts the video filming when I restart CarPlay, because I'm certainly not going to have that yelling in my ear while I'm trying to get my thoughts down. I'm just listening to a podcast about AI voice recognition right now, which is pretty interesting. And I don't have a whole lot of thoughts about this program just yet, or even the technology that is used for very large corporations. That's hopefully going to make it much more useful than the typical phone tree kind of thing. But anyway, this is exactly the scenario that would happen riding down the road, just leaving. Right now I'm using the road capture app because it's the only one at present that will allow the Rode Micro to attach to it as sync with it, so I can use the microphone. And yeah, so it seems okay. I left it on this whole time, and be interested to see, like on a long trip, how much battery it uses. It's also a good reason to consider a Rode Micro. There's two of them in the Rode package, and they go for like 7 hours or some ridiculously long amount of time. So for a reasonable day of road tripping, you should be able to leave the phone on and ready to record, as long as you're not using voice nav or something, and then simply bounce between listening to the Apple Music or whatever, or podcast or whatever, and recording some thoughts. Because a lot of times I'm listening to podcasts and I want to write something down. It's a quick note, like remember that website or whatever. And I don't want to spend the time to remember what episode I'm listening to, go back to that show, go back to the show notes, and try and find the link to the one thing that I wanted to listen to or go investigate. And if I can just make a video memo to myself, that would be useful to me. I don't know how useful it is to anybody else, but at least that portion of this situation is kind of one of the scenarios I have for actually filming in the car. The other thing would be if I, have some interesting thought, going by an interesting landmark or something, I might stop and do a little report on that. I don't know. We're just exploring it now, but just thought I'd bring up that observation that toggling between the recording app Road Capture and the CarPlay listening to podcast end of stuff is pretty seamless. So with that said, I am going to do that right now. I'm just going to punch the button. Greg out. Hey, Greg, back at the Nut Factory building, just going to head up to the studio. The final thing I kind of want to understand about how this system kind of interacts with CarPlay, for one, because I could always USB that in, and I don't think it would be any kind of issue at all, since it wouldn't be relying on the same or similar connection to the microphone to the app, or that phone to the thing, or blah, 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 blah. Your Bluetooth circle of life. Is that when the interruption happens from turning on CarPlay, does the app stop recording and make that a separate clip? Is it resume? I assume it does, because I've only got 45 seconds on this one. But or does it completely forget what it's doing? I don't know. We'll find out, because I'm going to go upstairs and see what we learned about all this right now. Greg out.